This week we begin the season of Lent, which is a time of preparation for Easter. During Lent, we focus on Jesus, on his life and teachings, and also on the meaning of his death. And we do this because we can't really fully celebrate the resurrection of Jesus on Easter if we don't first understand who he was, what he taught, and why he died. And the resurrection that we celebrate on Easter is one of the most central and important parts of our faith. In fact, it's so important that in 1 Corinthians 15:14, the Apostle Paul says that if Christ has not been raised, our preaching is useless, and so is your faith. So because the resurrection is that important, it's worth us taking some time each year to prepare our hearts and our minds to celebrate it on Easter Sunday. So as we do that, Lent can be a really important time of spiritual growth and learning and discovery for us. So one of the most important things that Lent can be for us is a time to get back on track with God if we've drifted. We begin Lent with Ash Wednesday with repentance, with that call to just seek to get right with God. And that's a great thing for us to do. You might also want to give something or some things up for Lent, not just for the season of Lent, but permanently. Bad habits, unhelpful things that just need to go from your life. Lent has been called a time of spring cleaning for the soul. Maybe you could really use that. You might also want to add some things to your life for Lent. Maybe to get back to spending time alone with God and prayer and reading the Bible. Lent is also a time to seek to grow spiritually and to seek spiritual renewal. You might want to seek out some opportunities to help you pursue that. Join one of our Lenten Small Groups or use the prayer and fasting devotional guide that we have and be a part of those guided prayer times. You might choose to give something up just for the season of Lent as a way of focusing your heart and mind on Jesus and of flexing your spiritual muscles and your muscles of self-discipline. There are a lot of ways that we can seek to grow and be renewed, but our hope with all of them is to use Lent as a time to know Jesus more deeply and to become more alive in our faith. Lent can also be a time of discovery for us if we're not really sure who Jesus is, or maybe we've never fully put our faith in him. There was a point at which Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" And really, that's a great question for us. Who do we say Jesus is? It's a question that every person should answer for themselves. Was Jesus just a prophet or a good teacher, or was he something more than that? You see, Christians have said for thousands of years that Jesus is so much more than that he is the Lord. At Orchard, during the season of Lent, our series of messages is called Who Do You Say That I Am? And with it, we're going to take a look at places in the Bible where people said who they thought Jesus was at times. But more importantly, we're going to really focus on who Jesus really was and who he really is. So I'd like to invite you to join us for the season of Lent. If you haven't been with us already, it'll be a time not only of discovering who Jesus is, but really a chance for us to consider who he is more deeply and to grow in faith. So as we enter the season of Lent, may we do that. May each of us grow in our faith and be renewed as we prepare our hearts and minds to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus on Easter Sunday.